Hello everyone, this is Melanie from Melanie B's Creative Studio, and today I received a package that I did not purchase. You guys know I talk about her all the time in these videos because Cassandra Lopez out of the UK has sent me so many amazing things, just being thoughtful. And I just feel like I can't thank her enough because we wouldn't know about a lot of the tools that we use if it weren't for her. On Facebook, when somebody mentioned that Masterpiece by Numbers had just come out with a new line of dogs paintings from one of their artists, she saw a post where I said I had put myself on a budget and I wasn't gonna buy the German Shepherd that I wanted, and I was gonna have to wait on it. So what did she do? She went and ordered it for me. So this tube is a Masterpiece by Numbers painting that is a brand new release, and I will put the artist's name here because I cannot remember off the top of my head, but I wanted to open this up because it's been a little while since I've done a Masterpiece by Numbers video, and you guys know I love to continue to check out companies even if I've already done reviews on them to make sure that their paints are getting better or to see if their quality is still there, how their consistency is, and all that stuff. So that's what we're going to do today. So let me get this open. You notice they ship in a tube. Now Masterpiece by Numbers is out of Florida, so if you're in the US, it's very fast shipping, like a week and a half if you lived in California or Oregon or somewhere. But for me, if I've placed an order, it's usually about 5 days to 7 days when I get my shipment. It's very fast in the US. Now, I don't know about their international service. I know that they have another location, and I want to say it's also in the UK. So anyway, you could probably find what you're looking for if you go to Masterpiece by Numbers. They're a reputable company. They are legit. So the quality has been a little bit hit or miss for me when I've swatched, and I know that the ones that I purchased about 9 to 10 months ago, the paints were not okay. They were very transparent, but it was a very warm colored barn scene, and it could have just been because there were yellows and oranges and reds. And I know that those paints have been perfected. Over the last 10 months, I've seen a lot of better paints from those colors from other companies. So I don't know if they've upgraded theirs or not, but anyway, we're gonna see because I'm excited about getting this piece. So before I get started with this, you might be asking me, why German Shepherd? Well, about 4 years ago, before my husband and I got married, we decided we wanted to get 2 German Shepherd puppies, and we wanted them to be raised together. And so I found breeders in Vermont that had beautiful dogs, you know, that had all the hip tests and all the everything. Their lineage was crazy. It was wonderful. But mostly it was because they tested dogs for compatibility for the owner. So we wanted dogs that were pets, but also very protective. We wanted dogs that had been subjected to gunfire and things because we shoot guns a lot. And so we got these dogs from Cavalieri Shepherds in Vermont. Great group of people to work with. And so we got a female and a male. While they were still puppies, I had them crated. I was crate training them, and it was about springtime. And so every day when the mail carrier would come to my house to drop off a package, I would crate the dogs between the time of 12 and 1 o'clock because I knew that's when she'd be coming. And even though they were puppies, they were very unhappy with her presence. They never did this to anybody else, but they hated her. So they would just go ham. I mean, like, I had the porch blocked off, and they would, I mean, the female, Kimber, she was just like attack that thing. And she was trying to get at that mail lady. And so during the hours of 12 to 1, when I thought the mail carrier was coming, I'd put them in the crate. Well, that bitch reported me to the animal control people and said that I was crating my dogs all day long. As if she would know that by being in my driveway for 3 minutes. But anywho, so the animal control guy came out and we had a nice long chat about her and about my dogs, and he saw that they were beautiful, very well taken care of. And I told him, I said, I'm only crating them for her benefit, but that's fine. If she wants me to let them out, that's fine. I'll let them out. So I didn't want them out in the yard because I knew that somebody could back over them. We have 250 acres, but I knew they could run off, you know, so I still kept them to the porch, confined to the porch, but it's a 12-foot deep a 36 feet long porch. So I'd put their toys out there, their food and water was out there and all that. Long story long, because of her, even though they had been crate trained, I stopped crating them after a while because I was worried that, you know, she's going to get me in trouble for putting my dogs in the crate, even though I'm crate training. The guy from animal control, he totally understood. He was like, you have to do that. I said, I know. I have no idea what her issue is, but pop out here any time of the day and you'll see them out here running on the porch. I just crated them while she was coming up because they'd go crazy every time they saw her. Once I let them out of the crates and stopped crating them at night, Kimber got off the porch and went running around, and they'd come back and she'd let Sig out and they'd go running down to the creek and come back wet and all kinds of stuff. So I tried to fix the front porch to where they couldn't get out, and I bungeed a piece of lattice board across the opening, and Kimber was still able to pull that, stretch it out and get out from under there. So at some point, and we don't know when, one morning I walked out to feed the dogs and give them fresh water, and Kimber was dead on the porch, bleeding from the mouth. So she was about 8 to 9 months old, and it was devastating because basically Sig was Jim's dog and Kimber was my dog, and there's brother and sister, and they'd been raised together and they loved each other and they were perfect for us. Like it was like they had been bred for us and our purposes. So I was devastated, and I'm not going to lie, I'm never going to forgive my mail carrier. She throws my packages. She has thrown my mailbox off the stand 10 feet away from its post. That's the kind of nasty stuff she does. Right at my son's anniversary of his death every year, she'll leave me a note in my mailbox telling me I need to cut the limbs down over my mailbox. And so she's just a constant hateful person. She steals people's cards with money in them. And the problem is you can't really prove it, but I did prove that she was throwing my mailbox on the ground, and she finally stopped after I sent her a nice little letter in the mailbox. But I lost my dog because of that woman. So we think Kimber, ran off somewhere and got into some kind of poison. We have a garage that's got tons of stuff stored in it, and we just don't know. But she came back, she was fine for several days, and then all of a sudden she was dead, bleeding from the mouth on the front porch. She didn't have any other wounds. And at the time, we couldn't afford to go have an autopsy done on our dog, so we didn't do it. And so German Shepherds are special to us. And this one looks just like Sig. Here's Sig. And here's Kimber. And I don't have a lot of older pictures of them because they were so crazy together. So it was almost impossible. Even though they'd sit for a minute, they didn't learn stay until, Sig learned that recently. But anyway, let's start looking at this kit. All right. So let's see what I have here before I start moving. Great reference guide. Fabulous. Very clearly marked, very clearly numbered. It's very small, but so for any of you who may have got an opalberry piece, these little magnifying rulers that come with their pieces are fabulous for being able to zoom in and see these numbers, because people who have great vision may struggle with some of these little numbers, but this is my tool for that. Now the canvas is a nice quality. It's kind of a medium weight. It's got a really nice canvas backing on it, and now they have, it looks like, reverted to gray lines and numbers, which I'm super happy to see. I really love that. They have their logo on the bottom, plus the information on which one this is in case you ever have issues with it. It laid completely flat just now when I've laid it out, which means it's not going to have any issues with rolling or any of that. So let's look at the paint. Here are our paints in our palette. It's a very rainbow design, which is what I love about it. So here we go. Now you guys know, we also get the red brushes, which are not that much better, but it looks like they actually have some good sizes in here that are versatile. So if I was a newbie and I was getting a painting like this, these would probably be just fine for me to start with, because they look like they've got some real good sizing. Now you would need to trim off any long scraggly hairs. That's just par for the course with the cheaper brushes, but those look like they're a good size. So I'm going to swatch these paints because I have not had great luck with their paints in the past. So that's what I'm going to do, and then I'm going to come back and we're going to talk about how these paints swatched and whether they are going to be great for this piece. Oh, and by the way, before I do that, let's talk about the canvas for 1 second. I get the question all the time, and I know I've said it in all of my gesso videos, but let's just go ahead and put it out there again. I don't care if it comes pre-primed. Pre-primed, it means it comes with white gesso on it, okay? Most canvases that you buy have white gesso pre-primed, not paint by numbers necessarily, but all canvases, almost all canvases are pre-primed with white gesso. White gesso isn't the same as clear gesso. So we're going to put clear gesso on this piece because this surface is so slick that when I'm using these paints, if they're at all streaky or at all transparent, they're just going to slip around and cause more streaking and more mess. So that is why I put down layers of gesso. People ask me, how many layers do I need? I have no idea. Okay, so it depends on the canvas. If it's got a deep canvas texture, then you might need 2 layers. I don't ever put more than 2 layers. I rarely even use that much. I like to do 1 layer and test a spot and see if I can still see the canvas, you know, pinholes or whatever, or see how my paint holds. If it doesn't, I'll put another layer. But there is no set number of layers that you need. It depends on the canvas. And that's one of those things that you have to test for yourself and do your own trial, because I don't know what your canvas looks like. I just know what mine looks like. This particular masterpiece by numbers would probably require, it's going to require at least 1, possibly 2. But until I paint this one, I'm not going to know. I'm going to go ahead and do these swatching, and I will be right back, and we will talk about what I found. Okay, so I'm back, and I have swatched the paints. Now, I do want to tell you, I was sitting in a fairly dark room, and when I swatched these, I didn't put on the overhead light like I should have, and I didn't put much on the swatch at all. So some of these that I thought were super opaque, when I get into the light, I'm seeing they're more like a semi-opaque, but I think it's because I was putting really thin layers on there. So I'm going to go ahead and just show you the ones that I think will be trouble, but overall the paint was very creamy, great consistency, and I will show you the ones that are probably going to give me a little trouble. Number 1 is white, and I will just replace that with like a titanium white as long as I test it and make sure it's the same. And then number 10 was a creamy white, and that one will be, you know, I'll adjust a little bit as well or replace. Number 17 is the bright yellow, 20 is the orangey yellow, and this number 21, which is hot pink, did a lot better than I thought it would. I feel like with a little bit of white added to that, it will be perfect. Or I'm just going to exchange it for one of my others from like the shipper kits or something. So I'd say about 5 of these are semi-opaque. None of them are really transparent. It's a really tricky palette because it's the rainbow colors. So I'm feeling pretty good though about these colors. Now I do want to point out there's only a little bit of the yellow in the piece. So if it's not super opaque, the smaller areas, it might be okay once I start painting it. And there's not a lot of pink, and there's not, you know, so a lot of the colors that I have here that are a little bit tricky, there's not a lot of those in this piece. So I feel really good about the palette. I feel really good about the painting. I'm just so thankful to Cassandra for sending me this one. And I'm excited to, you know, go ahead and do this one. I say that all the time. I know. I've got so many works in progress right now, and I'm testing other products for us. So like I'm testing other hobbies right now. So I'm having to complete those projects on top of the ones that I want to complete for Paint by Numbers. So you know how I like to do. I like to give myself way more work than I need to, but I enjoy it so much. All right, well, that is it, you guys. I hope this was helpful for you, that if you've seen something on Masterpiece by Numbers that you like, they always have a buy 2 get 1 free special. So, and I believe that's with free shipping as well. So it's usually like $52, I believe, for me to get 3 paintings, but it's been a while since I've ordered. So that's just what it was the last time I tried it. But that's all for today. You guys have a wonderful day. Please like this video, make a comment if you would. Tell me if you've got a puppy that you'd like to paint. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Join me on Facebook and on Patreon. And I will see you back soon. Thanks as always for watching.